Hi everyone, welcome back to Trees and Turtles. My name's Imogen. In today's video, I'm sharing things that I'm grateful for about the other people in my life. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to do that. Give this video a big thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram and let's get started. So I just wanted to, this video is kind of a love letter to my friends and, you know, other people in my life who really support me. And I wanted to make this video, firstly, out of appreciation. And secondly, to kind of demonstrate for you that maybe when you're feeling a little bit down, you're feeling like you're not valued, or you're just wondering what the purpose is in life, other people probably think these things about you, okay? So like I think these things about my friends, and it is very possible that your friends think these things about you. So I guess the purpose of this video is kind of twofold. Firstly, as an exercise in gratitude from my end, and also hopefully as an exercise in reassurance for you guys, okay? So without further ado, this is a list of things that I'm grateful for about the other people in my life. And number one is that they bring so many fresh new ideas into my life and ways of looking at things which I admire. So my friends are amazingly talented and have a very wide variety of interests, hobbies, skills, career paths. So they're a very varied bunch of people. And I love that so much, but they have several things in common, and one of these things is that they are all immensely like they have so much intellectual curiosity, and they're always like after new ideas, and they always want to share new ideas with me and new perspectives, and every time we like hang out I learn so much from them, okay? So they bring so many fresh new ideas into my life, and that's just so valuable to me. Like I love hearing their perspectives, like I genuinely do. I could sit, and I know I talk a lot, but I genuinely could sit and listen to my friends talk for hours and not say a single word. Like I am so like enamored with their ideas and their perspectives and their outlook on life, that outlooks plural, that yeah, I just feel really incredibly lucky to be able to share that. So that is the first thing that I wanted to talk about. The second thing that I admire a lot about my friends and other people in my life is their resilience. Now, I know I said at the start of the video that like my friends are all incredibly varied, but this video is kind of a list of the things they all have in common. And another thing that they have in common is their resilience. A lot of the time, I kind of connect with people who have kind of been through a lot in their lives. If you've been on the channel for a while, you'll know that I talk about mental health a lot, and that's for a reason, okay? So I've been through kind of a lot of stuff in my life, and I tend to connect with people who have had similar experiences, obviously, because that's a key way of social bonding. So something else that I really admire about my friends is their resilience. You know, they'll have setbacks in their lives, and you know, everyone does, right? But they'll be talking to me about it, and they'll be like actively problem solving, or they'll be talking about how to come back from it or what they can learn. And I'm always so inspired by that, because it really shows me how to be resilient. And I know obviously I've had a lot of like first-hand practical experience on how to be resilient, but every time I see one of my friends practicing resilience, it's just so inspiring to me, and it teaches me so much about how to approach that from maybe a different angle, or just it gives me an insight into their lives and how they work with setbacks, and that is just so educational to me. So I massively admire their resilience. Number three, their positive energy. Something that my friends all have in common is they are all immensely kind and positive. And you know, don't get me wrong, they have their down days as well. Like they're you know, I've like probably sat with every single one of my friends who's like been in a bad mood one time, or is just really sad, or something bad has happened to them. But in general, they have so much joy in life, and they have such a positive outlook. And sometimes I feel like there's a sort of a warm yellow glow around each of my friends that's just like their sort of positive energy that they bring into the world, and it makes my heart kind of like want to leap out of my chest, because I get so much positive energy from that. So their positivity is something that I really cherish and value, and it's something that inspires me a lot. Another thing which I admire a lot and I'm grateful for is their wisdom and life experience. So obviously we all experience life one day at a time, but the great thing about having a friend group which you are really inspired by and which you the members of which you really trust, is that you can like kind of pool your experience and you get the benefit of their lived experience as well as your lived experience. And sometimes when I come to one of my friends with a problem or I'm in a situation and I just mention it, sometimes, very often actually, they have some really sort of insightful takes which I wouldn't have thought of. And you know, it's obviously not a substitute for therapy, but sometimes it's really helped me reframe some things in a very positive way, or help me make realizations about myself that have been immensely therapeutic. So their wisdom and life experience is something that I really value. Another thing that I'm really grateful for is their creativity and talent. So I mentioned that my friends are very diverse in terms of, you know, life experience and career direction and talent, and I am always blown away and awestruck by how creative they are and how talented they are. Now, you know, there are so many like different career fields and I could never be talented in all of them, but to just be able to see my friends thrive across so many different like genres of career, across so many different like fields, across so many different like avenues of research and of contribution to society, it just gives me a lot of hope, really. It really does. And being able to see that kind of like diversity in their creativity and their skill and their talent, I just think it's so fascinating to be able to have that kind of like microcosm of society and see how each of them uses their creativity and their talents to really contribute and make a positive difference. So that's something that brings me a lot of hope, actually. Another thing that I really admire, and this is linked to the last point as well, is their intellect. Now, I am not the cleverest person in the world, but I have some very, very clever friends, and I am always like very, very much in awe of their academic abilities. Now, a lot of my friends are like a lot smarter than me, and they find like studying and, you know, getting degrees and stuff a lot easier than I do. Like, I had to work my ass off at Durham, I cannot lie, but yeah, I knew people who kind of just like sailed through it, and like some of my friends at other universities who are immensely like intellectually gifted, and I am just kind of so grateful to be able to be friends with them so I can just learn from them and just see how they approach intellectual problems and see their sort of thirst for knowledge, their intellectual curiosity. Like, it inspires me to keep learning every single time. Like, it gives me so much like joy and so many important things to think about as well. Like, I've never had a boring conversation with one of my friends. Like, there's always something I learn from it. Seriously. I mean, it might be the most like mundane thing ever, but they'll always have like a new way of looking at it, or a new piece of information, or a fun fact to share with me. And I love that my friendships are like that. As well as their intellect, I'm also really grateful for their emotional intelligence. So now, I said I have a lot of friends who are a lot more intelligent than me, and it is true in an academic sense, but it's also true in an emotional sense. And I've found very often that my friends know exactly what to say to me when I've been, you know, in like a depressive episode, or I've had friends who've like sat with me through panic attacks and they've been able to like just talk to me and, you know, really understand what's going on for me and really understand like where I'm coming from, like my trauma, and just really sort of help me out with that. And obviously I try and do the same for them. I try and be like an emotional support, but just being able to kind of have that emotional intelligence in my social circle is both very educational for me, because I get to learn how they deal with emotional problems, what their coping mechanisms are, and how they approach like me with compassion. And then I get to learn from that, and also I just get to, you know, watch them grow into like increasingly amazing people in that regard every day. And like, they are so compassionate and they seek to make the world so much of a better place. And I'm getting emotional, I'm gonna move on. Okay. Oh, the next point's also gonna make me emotional. Their support and affirmation. Yeah, like I said, my friends are all immensely supportive. I feel like I've reached a point in my life where I've really focused on like quality over quantity in all of my social relationships, including my friendships. And I think that has really paid off in terms of building a circle of people who are like so supportive of me. And obviously I'll always like try and give that energy back to them to the best of my ability, but like every single time that I'm struggling, or I have low self-esteem, or I've got some kind of doubt, they know exactly what to say, and like their support literally means the entire world to me. I know that sounds cliche, but it does. It really does. And finally, the last thing that I want to talk about that I'm grateful for about the other people in my life is their ambition. So I've talked about this like kind of throughout the video as well, but my friends are creative, talented, compassionate, kind people who want to make the world a better place and already do. And that in itself is extremely ambitious, and it really challenges me to be a better person, like across the board, okay? To develop my skills in terms of emotional intelligence, in terms of like academic intelligence, in terms of like my career, in terms of, you know, like my self-care, my self-esteem, my mental health, my physical health, everything, okay? Their ambition just challenges me to be a better person and to like level up my game and level up my goals. And you might think this is kind of funny coming from someone who runs a productivity channel to say that my friends are more productive than I am, but this is very often the case. Like, just because I yap a lot about productivity doesn't mean I'm the most productive person ever, okay? A lot of my friends could probably tell you a lot more about productivity than I can because they're just better at it, but they don't talk about it. So, or at least not on this sort of like public scale. Like, they talk about it to me, but, and probably to their other friends as well. But their ambition kind of like is just so inspiring to me. And every time that one of my friends achieves like a really big goal, I am always so thrilled for them. And I'm always like, you know, tell me all about it. Like, how did you do it? I want to know, I want to understand, because you are so inspiring to me and you've put in so much effort and the rewards are obviously paying off and you deserve that. So their ambition really like challenges me to improve across the board. And it's not like a jealousy thing, it's not a competitive thing. It can be like a friendly competition sometimes, but never in a negative way. It's more of a sort of inspiration thing. And to be able to watch my friends and the other people in my life in general, whether it's like a platonic or romantic or whatever kind of relationship it is, watching those people like evolve and grow and actively seek that sort of proactive self-improvement is just such a privilege. And I realize this like video has been kind of just me talking to the camera about how great my friends are, but they really are great, and I want you to take that away. Firstly, if any of my friends are watching this video, I love you guys. And secondly, if you are like wondering if your friends like you, chances are that a lot of them feel like at least some of this way about you as well, because I am like just a regular person, okay? I'm just a regular person who loves my friends, and your friends probably love you as well. So if you ever feel unloved or if you ever feel like your friends hate you, it's very much like probably not true, okay? They are probably admiring some of these same things about you, and I'm sure that you admire some of the same things about them as well. So let's not be too hard on ourselves, because we are our own worst critics, and if we could only for one moment see ourselves through the eyes of our friends, through the eyes of the other people in our lives who look up to us, who admire us, who love us, I feel like we'd be a lot less harsh on ourselves, okay? So I just really want you to take that away from this video. I know it was kind of like a self-indulgent little video of me just listing off how great my friends are because I love them, but I do think there is a practical lesson that can be learned here as well for you in terms of don't be so harsh on yourself. There are almost certainly people in your life who think these things about you as well. Alright, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave your thoughts in the comments, follow me on Instagram. That's all I have on your to-do list. You are free to go. Thank you. Bye!